What is the truth and why is the truth so important? This is a very fundamental question which philosophers, psychologists, and so on ask themselves. And I also have been thinking about it a lot in the past few years. The more I became interested into intellectual and abstract ideas, the deeper I began to think. It seems at least that the way we construct our reality, we have a psychological structure, which is a predicate for our existence on which we navigate through life and how we navigate through life. And the truth is what seems to work and seems to be replicable in life, and also what doesn't seem to work. It's a structure which reveals itself. In other words, you can say you're throwing out the boomerang and it's getting back to you. That's the truth in a sense. That actions will have consequences and they will come back right to you. Also, this is true for physical stuff, but also, especially in our psychological structure, we cannot escape this thing which is called the fundamental truth. Okay, let's give secular examples to make it accessible and understandable. When you're in a marriage and you're lying, for example, one of the partners is cheating on you, on the other partner, on the other spouse, and is not telling them that he's cheating. That's sort of lying. Also, other people conceptualize lying in a more straightforward manner, like not saying the truth, although you know that you're not saying the truth or what you mean. But that also counts as lying, because the foundation which marriage traditionally is based on is telling each other truth and trusting, and do not commit adultery. And if you constantly cheat on your spouse, you're lying. And that's going to affect your relationship with yourself directly, with your partner, and also your children. It's going to have immediate effects, but also those effects are also going to be delayed over time. And that, coming back to truth, this is also the fundamental structure of truth, that you cannot escape it. That your actions, for example, will have direct consequences. If you have benevolent actions oriented towards the best, towards heaven, the sky, if you aim upwards, that's going to be the result you get in life. Your life's going to be better. If you aim downwards into hell, down, well, the example I just used to illustrate what I mean, in a negative frame, you're going to ruin your marriage, perhaps. And, well, maybe your partner will develop psychological pathologies, might get sick, you might get sick, your children are going to have a hard life, and, or maybe all your relationships are going to get affected. So the entire ecosystem might get affected in a way. It's like an uncontrolled cancer which spreads and destroys every cell in the body. It makes the organism die in the end or deteriorate. And that's why the truth is such a beautiful thing. Beautiful, beauty. It's also a very archaic idea that things are considered as beautiful which serve life, which help us to survive, to thrive, to flourish. This has been ideas which developed over the past, I'm not sure, 10,000 years, maybe even more, maybe even million years, 100,000 years. I'm not even sure, but long time. And yeah, this is very bizarre in a sense that you cannot escape this thing called truth. In order to illustrate how important the truth is, and I come up with challenging or negative examples, because if I show a counterpart to the thing we all want, it's it's good, it's easy, or it's good illustration to understand what I'm saying. So if you're a person who's lying, as I said, and I already explained it a little bit, you are avoiding to become the person you want to be. Because lying is pretty much splitting yourself and escaping into a version of yourself which you are not supposed to become, which is not equivalent to your upward potential. And that's why if you choose to be a liar, everything in your life is going to equal the characteristics and the consequences of the type lying. Everything is going to get affected by that. And many people think that lying is a helpful instrument to keep playing the music they want to play, but often they don't even play the song they want to. They just convince themselves because it's easier. So it's an adaptation mechanism, or in other words, a compensation mechanism. And well, this is not going to play out very well. Second, this is way better, actually. Don't need the earphones. And well, just getting back, I just lost the plot a little bit. Little nervous, not very well practiced with recording videos. But we're not gonna cut that, as I said in the first video. Yes, people don't even realize how harmful lying can be. I mean, the human psyche is a master at deception, a deception machine. And that's why we need awareness, reflection, which hasn't been very popular in our culture lately, that people try to discover the individual selves, go through the process of individuation by shadow integration. And instead, we came up with ideas like wealth, which is not bad, but this is the ultimate goal. Sex, status. All those things are useful in the right context. I'm not condemning this stuff, but the way we use it right now as a replacement for our identity, because we're not meant to identify ourselves with that, because that's not who we are, naturally speaking. And that's why we have so many problems nowadays in Western society. And I just want to encourage you to stop lying and tell the truth, because I really believe that truth is one of the most important values, also which Western society is based on, or maybe all societies, the entire world. And truth, what I want to add is truth unites people. And we know from studying history that where truth was less established at certain periods, very atrocious things happened. Stuff which is beyond comprehension, stuff which you don't want to happen again. And really, if someone is watching this video is thinking, oh, this idiot is talking some shit and just wants to make money with those videos, I'm really convinced of what I'm saying. I really think that telling the truth, adhering to the truth, will create better societies, starting with the individuals, and then from that, it comes to society.